All right, everyone, buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into a real treat for country music fans. Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood just released the video for their duet, I'm Gonna Love You, and let me tell you, it's got everyone talking.
It really has.
But it's not just the song, the video itself tells its own story, and we're here to unpack all of that, all the little details, the symbolism, all the stuff that makes this video so special. So, ready to put our director's hats on and get into it?
I am so ready. And you're right, there's a surprising amount of depth packed into those few minutes. It's not just visuals. It really captures some big themes that run through like all of country music storytelling.
Right. Like right off the bat, you got that open road imagery, driving off into the sunset. It's classic, but I feel like it means something more here, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially in country, that open road is never just about romance. It's freedom. It's the unknown, the idea of facing whatever's ahead together. And this video, they use the scenery to really bring that home.
You know what? I noticed that. I thought it was just some pretty scenery, but go on.
It's more than just pretty, right? Think about it. You got the wide open plains at the start.
Yep.
That's the future, full of possibility. Then those winding mountain roads, like the challenges they might face.
Wow, I'm already seeing it differently. So it's like each location is a visual metaphor, like for their relationship. That's brilliant.
Exactly. And remember that line, we'll figure it out, side by side. They were literally walking alongside this old fence line right then, visually emphasizing that whole idea.
Man, and I was too busy admiring the views to even catch that. This is why I love deep dives. You always pick up on things you'd miss otherwise. Speaking of noticing things, did you pick up on that contrast between like the classic and modern elements they use?
Oh, definitely. You've got that rustic, timeless feel of the barn, the fields, and then boom, Carrie walks out these incredibly modern outfits.
Yeah, it's like that they're playing with our expectations a little bit. So how do you interpret that contrast? Does it tie into the song's message at all?
Well, when you think about Cody and Carrie's own music, it's like a visual representation of their collaboration.
Go on.
So you have Cody, known for that traditional country sound. He's often shown in those more classic settings. And then you have Carrie blending pop and country. Her style's way more modern, and her outfits reflect that.
It's like the visuals are mirroring their musical identities, showing how those two sounds, those two sides of themselves come together in this partnership.
Exactly.
Which, speaking of visuals, can we talk about the Western vibes for a second? Because I picked up on that too.
It's subtle, but it adds like this whole other layer to the story. You know, you got the hats, the wide open landscapes, even the way some shots are framed.
Fuck yeah.
It all feels very classic Western, doesn't it?
It totally does. And it's got to be more than just an aesthetic choice, right? Like there's got to be a reason they went with that specific vibe.
Oh, absolutely. Think about what Westerns are all about: enduring love, heroism, overcoming the odds.
Right.
When they bring in that visual language, it elevates their love story. It's not just a fling. It's suggesting something bigger, something that lasts.
Now that you mention it, there's that shot of Cody silhouetted against the sunset, and I immediately thought of those old Western movie posters. It's like they're putting themselves in that same tradition of epic love stories.
Exactly. Makes you think of it, even if it's just for the video.
Yeah.
It's part of this like grand narrative. Yeah. Pretty clever, really.
I'm with you. And speaking of clever, did you catch any of those little nods to Cody and Carrie's other work? Like little Easter eggs for the fans?
Oh, for sure.
Right. Like when I saw Carrie with the wind blowing through her hair, I instantly flashed back to her Blown Away video. And Cody leaning on that truck, total Deer Rodeo vibes.
Yes. And it's not just fan service. It's them reminding us of where they came from as artists, all the things they've done.
It's like they're saying, hey, this is who we are and this is us now, together.
Exactly. Weaving in those threads from their past work just reinforces that whole idea of two separate paths coming together, which, if you think about it, kind of echoes the message of the song itself.
That is so cool. It all ties together. And you know what else is cool? The chemistry between them is off the charts. They're not even like acting out a love story, but it just feels so real, so emotionally charged.
It's amazing how much they convey without relying on a typical narrative. It's all in the subtleties.
Like what? Give me the details.
Watch their eyes, the glances, the smiles that linger just a little too long. Even their body language, the way they move closer to each other, or when Carrie touches Cody's arm during the chorus. It's all intentional.
You know what's funny? When you're just watching it casually, you might not even notice those things consciously. But they're working on you, pulling you in, making you believe it.
Exactly. It's like they're whispering their own little love story in between the lyrics and the scenery. That's where the real magic happens.
It's like they've tapped into something we can all relate to, you know? Something bigger than just a typical love story.
Exactly. And that's what country music does best, right? It connects us to those shared experiences, the desire for connection, the ups and downs, the power of love. And this video, it brings those themes to life in such a visually stunning way.
It really does. I'm so glad we did this deep dive because now I'm seeing all these layers, all these little choices that add so much depth. Like, imagine watching this without even thinking about the symbolism or the nods to their past work or those tiny expressions. It wouldn't be the same.
Right. It reminds you that music videos, they're not just like promotional things. They can be their own powerful way of telling a story.
For sure. And in this case, I think they've actually created something that doesn't just complement the song, it enhances it. It adds layers of meaning that you might not have even thought about before.
Yeah. It's like you get a whole new perspective on I'm Gonna Love You after watching it. And that's what makes it so great. It sparks these different interpretations, gets people talking, sticks with you long after it's over.
Well said. So anyone listening who's now inspired to go rewatch this video with fresh eyes, what's the one thing you hope they take away from this deep dive?
Don't just watch it, feel it. Let yourself really get into the emotions, those subtle moments, the stories they're telling, without even saying the words. You might be surprised what you pick up on.
Love that. Sometimes the best stories are the ones told through a look, smile, a journey down an open road. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. I always learn so much from these conversations. Thanks for joining me and for opening our eyes to all that hidden magic. And for everyone listening, keep those minds curious and those observations sharp. See you next time.